is being recorded.
And we'll get started actually with some breathing exercises like we always do. So come to a tall seat, take your cushion or block or blanket and come up to a tall seat. Sit on the edge of the block or blanket. So you're not sitting entirely on it, you're sitting on the edge of it so that your knees are kind of rolling off the block. It helps you kind of tilt your pelvis forward so that you can sit up taller. Otherwise, like you're sitting up with a rounded back. So this helps you sit a little bit taller. Go ahead and place your hands on your thighs. Imagine the crown of your head reaching up to the ceiling. Tuck your chin in slightly so that the back of your neck is long and is in line with your spine, the rest of your spine. Maybe close your eyes just for a few breaths. Take a deep inhale through the nose. Open your mouth side out. One more time, deep inhale through the nose. Open your mouth and side out. Now feel your lips, breathing in and out through your nose. Let's start cultivating that Ujjayi pranayama, the victorious breath. So maybe one hand comes to your heart, one hand comes to your belly, and the inhales, you'll notice the belly puff up and your chest rise. And on the exhale, you'll see your belly will deflate like a balloon and your chest will fall. I'll start counting for the first few breaths. So even though my counting is discrete, I want your breath to be continuous. Let's all synchronize our breath by exhaling all the air out. And breathe in for 4, 3, 2, 1. Out 4, 3, 2, 1. In for 4, 3, 2, 1. And out for 4, 3, 2, 1. In 4, 3, 2, 1. And out for 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue breathing with your own count. Make your breath smooth, long inhales and exhales. Connecting with the tactile sensation of your breath. Take one last breath wherever you are. And then let's all meet back again. We'll do box breathing or Samavritti pranayama. So let me first explain, talk you through it. So you'll breathe in for a count of 4. Hold your belly full, belly and lungs full for a count of 4. Exhale for a count of 4. And then you'll hold it empty for a count of 4. So imagine you're tracing the sides of a square. So in, hold, out, hold. So let's all synchronize our breath by exhaling all the air out. In 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold. 4, 3, 2, 1, and return to your normal breath. Take a couple more breaths here, and then gently open your eyes. Inhale, sweep your arms all the way up to the sky, reach up to through your fingertips, take your palms together, thumbs touch, gaze up at your thumbs. Exhale, palms come to heart center. Now that you're connected with the tactile sensation of your breath, try to connect your movement with your breath. Now inhale, sweep your arms all the way up, your chest expands as you inhale. Reach up, palms touch, gaze up at your thumbs. Exhale, palms to heart center. One last time, inhale, sweep your arms all the way up. This time, interlace your fingers, press your palms up to the ceiling, and then exhale, lean over to the right. Breathing, breathing, breathing into the side body. Lean over to the right, press your palms up to the ceiling and lean over to the right. So interlace your fingers, press your palms up to the ceiling and lean over to the right. Breathing into the left side of the body. Notice the separation in your ribs. Breathe into all that space there. Take one more inhale here. Exhale it out. And then inhale, come back up. Exhale, lean over to the left. This time creating space in the right side of your body. Make sure both your sit bones are down on the block or mat or cushion. So pressing firmly through both sides of your hips. You're just leaning from your upper body, waist up, and breathing into the separation in your ribs. Inhale, slowly come back to the center, and then release your fingers. Now take your left fingers to your right knee. Right fingers, take it around your back, and maybe you're able to grab a hold of your waist, left hip. If not, it's okay. And then twist over to the right, gazing over your right shoulder. Sit up tall, don't lean back. Breathe into the twist, maybe going a little bit deeper with each breath. Noticing your chest and belly expand on your in-breath. And then the front of the body compress on your out-breath. And then release. Let's do the other side. Right fingers to the outside of your left knee. Take your left arm behind you, wrap it around, and maybe you can grab a hold of your right hip. Gaze over your left shoulder. Breathe into your twist, twisting from the belly button, rooting down through both sit bones. And slowly come back to the center, release, roll forward, come into a tabletop. Remove the block, blanket, cushion, whatever you have. Come into a tabletop. Make sure your knees are as wide as your hips and right underneath your hips are right above your knees. You're spreading your fingers wide, your wrists are right underneath your shoulders. Your index finger is kind of pointing forward. So spread your fingers wide, press the mat away. Tuck your toes in. We're going to activate the core first. So tuck your toes in, press the mat away. So there's a slight rounding in your upper back because you're pushing the mat away. Tuck in your belly button and lift your knees just 1 inch off the mat. Hold it here. Breathe. Activating that core muscle here. Breathe for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Let's take a few cat-cows. Inhale as you arch your spine. You're opening your heart always on the inhale, right? Opening your heart on the front of your body. And on the exhale, you're going to compress the front of your body by pressing the mat away. Belly button presses up to the spine. Spine presses up to the ceiling. Gaze at your belly button. move with your own breath. On the inhales, you are dropping your belly down, lifting your tail and gaze up. And then on the exhale, you're tucking your tail in and then tucking your chin in to gaze at your belly button, rounding your back. Take 3 more with your own breath. Exaggerate the movement in your neck and your tail. They are part of your spine. Just a great stretch to start your day every day. Mobilizing your spine. And then come to a neutral spine, which means that you're sucking in your belly button, you're not just hanging out there, and tucking your tail in slightly. Now take your right leg back, press the heel to the back wall, hold it here, really long and strong, so you're lifting it up actively. Hold it here, and maybe this is the extent of your balance today, and you can just stay here. If you want a little bit more, you can take your left arm out, the opposite arm out, your thumb faces up to the ceiling. Bird dog, this is a great exercise again for activating that core. Imagine the straight line from the crown of your head to the tail, which means that you're kind of looking down, you're not lifting your head up. Keep your neck in line with the spine. Imagine the straight line. If you have your arm extended from your thumb to your heel, breathe. Hold it strong, suck in your belly button. And then go ahead and release. Let's do the opposite side. Kick your left leg back, long and strong behind you. Extend the leg back actively, so don't just let it hang. And then maybe you took the opposite arm out on the other side. If you did, then do on this side as well. Again, noticing that straight line from your thumb to your heel, from the crown of the head to your tail. Breathe as if somebody is splitting you apart and pulling you to either side of the room. Reaching to both sides of the room. And go ahead and release. One more round of bear pose. So again, spread your fingers wide, press the mat away, slight rounding in your upper back, tuck in your belly button, tuck your toes in, and one more time, lift your knees just 1 inch off the mat. Hold it here. Keep pressing the mat away, keep engaging your core just for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Take your knees wide and your big toes to touch, sit back. So your knees are wide. You're sitting back on your heels with your big toes touching. So Radhika, take your knees a little bit wider. And your toes are still touching. Walk your fingers forward, coming into child's pose. So here you can take a block or a blanket and plant your forehead on the block or blanket if you feel that your hips are lifting up off your heels. If not, allow yourself to relax in this child's pose. It's a great pose to stretch out your hips. Notice the softness wash over your back. If you have back pain, discomfort in your back, simply come into this pose and breathe into your back. Slowly come up and roll forward, coming onto your belly, slithering forward onto your belly. We're going to activate the entire posterior chain, which is all the muscles in the back of our body, as hamstrings, glutes, back muscles, calf muscles even. So hands underneath your shoulders, elbows tucked into your side, like they are wings. They are not like spread out wings, but like wings tucked into to your side. Forehead on the mat. Your big toe is digging into the mat, so you're stretching your leg out. Cobra pose. So on your next in breath, press your palms down and lift your heart and forehead up. Cobra pose. Keep your wings tucked in, so don't flare out your arms, but tucked in. Breathe here. Take one more in breath here. And then exhale, bring your forehead back down to the mat. We're going to do one breath, one movement. So inhale, peel your heart up, gaze over your right shoulder. Exhale, forehead comes to your mat. Inhale, come up, gaze over your left shoulder. Exhale, forehead comes down to the mat. One more time like that. Inhale, peel your heart up, gaze over your right shoulder. Exhale, forehead to mat. Inhale, peel your heart up, gaze over your left shoulder. Exhale, forehead comes to mat. And relax down, bring your arms by your side. We're going to set up the locust pose, 3 rounds of locust pose, engaging our glutes, hamstrings, all the muscles in our back this time. Hands come by your side. Your palms are facing down. Root down with your hips. So maybe rock your hips a little bit so that you can find the rooting through your pelvis and your hips. And your next inhale, peel everything up off the mat except your hips. So your hands are coming up off the mat, your chest is coming up off the mat, your thighs are coming up off the mat. Squeezing your glutes to lift your legs up. Reach your fingers towards your toes, reach your toes back, hold it here, Salavasana, locust pose. Breathe. This is not an easy pose to breathe in. Try to find comfort and discomfort. Breathe. One more inhale here. And then exhale, release everything down, wiggle your hips, maybe windshield water your legs from side to side, relax your low back. Superman pose or Salavasana, locust pose. Great way to strengthen the muscles in your back, glutes, back muscles, all of them. 2 more rounds of locust pose. So if you have your block, you can bring it forward. This time we're going to hold our block and then lift up. Again, find your rooting in your hips. On your next inhale, peel everything up off the mat, reaching the block up towards the front, reaching your toes back, just like we did in bird dog. You're going to reach the front and back of the room, peel everything up off the mat, squeeze those back muscles to come up as high as you can. Resting on your belly button, resting on your pelvis. I know it's hard to breathe. Hold it here. Take one more inhale here. And exhale, release everything down. Wiggle your hips out. Windshield wiper your legs. Anything to make you feel good. Round 3 of locust pose. You can do just regular locust. Go back to the first way of doing it, if that's more comfortable for you. If you want to engage your hamstrings more, you're going to slightly bend your knees. If you have your block, you're going to bring your block behind you. This time you're going to lift the block up behind you, okay? Again, rooting down with your hips. Round 3, Salavasana, locust pose. Let's go. On your next inhale, peel everything up off the mat. Reach the block behind you. Reach your toes behind you. Bend your knees a little bit to engage your hamstrings. Breathe here. If you want. If not, you can just reach your toes back, okay? This is not an easy pose. Engage your glutes and hamstrings. Take one last inhale here. Lift your hands up as high as you can. Exhale, release everything down. Wiggle your hips out. Maybe pick up your feet and windshield wiper your legs from side to side. And slowly, hands underneath your shoulders, come up to a tabletop. We're going to come into our first downward facing dog. So from a tabletop, move your hands one palm print forward, tuck your toes in and send your hips all the way back to your heels. I want all of us to start here. Reach your arms forward as much as you can so your arms are fully extended. Press the mat away and then slowly start lifting your knees up off the mat, straightening your knees. Coming into downward facing dog, your inverted V shape. Breathe. You can keep a slight bend in your knees. This will help you lift your tail up and elongate your spine. And then when your hamstrings are warmed up, then you can start dropping your heels towards the mat. Breathe. Bend your knees a lot now. Look up towards the front of the mat and slowly step or walk up between your hands. Again, you're going to flow with our breath. So on your next inhale, slide your hands up your shins and come to an L shape, reaching the crown of the head forward. So you look like an L here, pressing your tail back, reaching the crown of the head forward. Your hands are resting on your shin or your knees, it doesn't matter. Keep your belly button sucked in. Take a deep inhale here. And then on the exhale, slide your hands down the backs of your legs and fold forward, allowing your head and neck to go. So this is forward fold. We're going to do three rounds like this. With inhale up, exhale down, okay? Inhale, half lift, reach the crown of the head forward, L shape, half lift. Exhale, forward fold, slide your hands down the backs of your legs, allow your head and neck to go. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold forward. Great hamstring stretch. And then grab opposite elbows, hang down like a rag doll. Maybe sway from side to side. Shake your head, yes. Shake your head, no. Just allowing the weight of your head and neck to elongate your spine here. And then drop your fingers down to the mat. On your next inhale, slowly roll up to standing. One vertebrae at a time. Exhale, roll your shoulder blades back and down. I'm going to do a few squats, just regular squats, not yoga squats. So reach your arms forward, squat down and up, down and up, down and up, down and up. Four more like this. Down, send your hips back, down and up, send your hips back, press your heels to come up, down and up. This time we'll hold it down, hold it, breathe for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly come up. Shake it out. I'm going to face you guys 2 more rounds like this. Take your feet a little bit wider this time, not too wide, maybe just outside your hips. I'm going to do again 8 rounds and then hold it at the last round, okay? Reach your arms forward, squat down, come up, take your knees wide as well. Squat down, knees are tracking above the ankles. Come up, down and up, down and up, down and up. 4 more. Down and up. Make sure you're not caving your knees in, but squeezing those knees out. This is where the resistance bands will help as well. 2 more. Down, hold it here. 8, 7, 6. Keep pressing your heels down to the mat. 4, 3, 2. Lift your chest, pinky. 1. And slowly come up. Shake it out. Goddess squat. This time feet are a lot wider. Sumo squat or goddess squat. So this time we're going to take our arms to cactus arms and reach up, okay? So when we come down, we'll take cactus arms. And then when we come up, we'll reach the fingertips up to the sky. So take your fingertips up to the sky. Take a deep inhale here. And then exhale, squat down as slow as you can. Inhale, up, down, up, down. Press those knees behind you, up, down, up, down. 4 more. You can do it up, down, up, down. 2 more. Up, down, up, and hold it down. Drop your hands onto your thighs. Hold it and breathe. Drop your right shoulder down. Gaze over your left shoulder. Come back to the center. Drop your left shoulder down. Gaze over your right shoulder. Press your knees back. Come back to the center and slowly rise up. Walk your ankle toe your feet in. 1 more round like that, okay? Shake your legs out. Maybe take your legs and do your hamstring stretches. Opposite hand to opposite toes. And then let's go for the second round. Feet are right underneath your hips. Coming back to our squat series. Down and up. Down, send your hips back, up. Send your hips back. Come up, down, and up. Squeeze those glutes as you come up, down. Press up, down, press up. Last time, this time you're going to pulse for 3. Down, pulse, 3, 2, 1, and up. Last one, pulse, 3, 2, 1, and up. Hold it down this time. Down for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly come up. I can feel you, Geeta. I also want to wiggle my fingers. Feet a little bit wider again. Just outside your hips. Going for those squats. Reach your hands out. Take it down and up. Down and up. Down and up. Down. This time we'll pulse. Pulse, 2, 3, and up. Down, pulse, 2, 3, and up. Down, pulse, 2, 3, and up. Last time here. Hold it. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come up. Shake it out. One last round. Goddess squat. Feet are really wide as it's comfortable for you. Sumo squat or horse stance, it's called, or goddess squat. I'm just talking to kill time. Your toes are pointing out, your heels are in. Reach your fingertips up. I'm going to go for those cactus arms, goddess arms, okay? Inhale here, take a deep in breath. And then on the exhale, squat down, press your knees behind you so that they are parallel to the floor. Inhale, come back up and down. Up and down, up and down, up, hold, pulse, 3, 2, and up, pulse, 2, 3, and up, pulse, 2, 3, and up. Last time, hold it here, hands to your thighs, drop your right shoulder down, gaze over your left. Come back to the center, drop your left shoulder down, gaze over your right. Come back to the center and slowly come up to standing, heel toe your feet in. I'm going to start back at the top of the mat. I'm going to slowly take it down. Do some bridge pose to strengthen those glutes a little bit more. But before that, we'll do some Anjaneyasana and crescent lunges. Again, I'm going to walk you through Surya Namaskara. It's done with your breath. So if the breath is too confusing, ignore those cues and just go with the movement. Inhale as you sweep your arms all the way up to the sky, palms touch, gaze up. Exhale, hinge at the hips, fold it down, allow your head and neck to fall. Inhale, half lift, L shape here, the L shape we did before. On the exhale, bend your knees a lot, plant your palms down, and take one leg back at a time, coming to a plank pose. Hold it here in plank. Again, just like in tabletop, spread your fingers wide, press the mat away so that there's a slight rounding in your upper back. So you're pressing the mat away. Your heels are right over your toes, the legs are extended back, sucking in your belly button, your hips and shoulders are at the same level. Breathe. Cultivating that core strength, arm strength. Breathe. If it's too tough, you can drop your knees straight down. Don't drop it like a tabletop, but just from a plank straight down, okay? Take one more in-breath here. And then on the exhale, drop your knees, your chest, your chin, squeezing your elbows by your side, come all the way down to your belly. Untouch your toes so that the top of your feet is pressing down on the mat. Hands underneath your shoulders, inhale to a cobra pose. Feel your heart up. Exhale, forehead to mat. Inhale, feel your heart up. Look over your right shoulder. Exhale, forehead to mat. Inhale, feel your heart up. Look over your left shoulder. Exhale, forehead to mat. Inhale, slowly come up to a tabletop. Tuck your toes in, send your hips all the way back like we did before. And then slowly lift up, coming up to a downward facing dog, inverted V pose. This is a full body stretch. Keep pressing the mat away from you. And then keeping a slight bend in your knee, lift your tail up so that your spine cascades down to the mat. Pressing your chest closer to your thighs by pressing the mat away. Trying to drop your heels towards the mat. They may not touch. They may not touch today, but eventually they will. Hold it here in this inverted V pose. And then bend your knees, look up to the top, and just step your right foot up to the top. Pin the back foot down and come up to standing. I'm going to start with some warrior poses, and then we'll take it to lunges. So, your right toes are pointing to the short edge of the mat. Your left toes are pointing to the long edge of the mat. So there's a heel to arch alignment in both feet. Reach your arms out. Taking your left hand to your left hip, reach your right fingers forward. As much as you can. Reach, reach, reach without rounding your back. How much can you reach? Reach as far as you can, and then drop your hand on your shin, your ankle, maybe your knee, it doesn't matter. Roll your heart open towards the sky and reach your left hand up. Gaze towards your left thumb, Trikonasana, triangle pose. So you can stay here. If this is not comfortable on your neck, you can turn your gaze down and look at your right big toe. Either option is fine. Another option is to have a block underneath your hand, right hand, instead of pressing down on your shin or your ankle. Breathe. Great pose to cultivate balance and strength. Press down with both feet and come up to standing. So you want to use your core to come up to standing. Now bend your right knee to come to a warrior pose. So when you bend your knee, notice that you're not leaning forward or leaning back, but your torso is still perpendicular to the floor. Soft gaze over your front fingers, your right fingers. Again, reaching those arms out like wings to both sides of the room, like two people are pulling you apart. One to the front of the room, one to the back of the room. Warrior pose, Virabhadrasana 2. There's a generous bend in your front knee, and which is your right knee, and your right glute is really engaged. Your back leg is strong and straight, and it's the back edge of the back foot is pressing down into the mat. Slowly drop your left hand down and reach your right hand up and over, reversing your warrior. Getting that side body stretch all the way from your right fingertips to your right hip. Don't let the bend in your knee collapse. And then slowly come up to standing, straighten your front knee. Turn your right toes to the face of front long edge of the mat. Left toes to face the short edge of the mat. Heel to arch alignment again. So make sure there's that heel to arch alignment. Make sure you're pressing down through all three corners of both feet, especially the back edge of the back foot tends to roll up. So make sure that you're pressing down at the back edge of the right foot. Right hand to your hip, left hand reaches out, lean forward as much as you can without rounding your back. So the minute you find that you're rounding, stop there. And wherever that is, drop your fingers. Maybe it lands in your shin. Some people can grab a hold of their big toe. Doesn't matter. You are where you are today, right? And then peel your heart up to the ceiling. Reach your right fingers up. Either gaze up to your right thumb or gaze down to your left big toe. It doesn't matter. In triangle pose, visualize yourself being pressed between two panes of glass, or as if you're passing through a narrow canyon and you can only walk sideways. Breathe. Pressing down with both feet, using your core strength to keep that balance. Maybe it helps your balance a little bit to turn your gaze down. So try that. Then press down with both feet to slowly come all the way up to standing. Warrior pose, warrior 2. Your back leg stays as it is, really strong, really straight. You bend your front knee so that the knee is right above the ankle. Open your arms wide. Soft gaze over your left fingers this time. Making sure that you're not leaning forward or leaning back. Making sure that your knee is pressing out. So don't let the knee collapse in, right? You're going to hurt your knee if you do that. Make sure your knee is right above your ankle. Press your knee behind you, knee to the back. Soft gaze over your front fingers, steady, stable warriors. Warrior poses are great poses to cultivate that mental strength, to stay with it, as well as the physical strength in your legs. Sometimes your arms start hurting as well. Just holding those arms up, it's not easy. Allow your right hand to come down, left hand reaches up and over, reversing your warrior. The bend in your knee doesn't change. Breathe into the left side of your body, fingertip to hip. And slowly come up. Straighten both legs. And then step up to the top of your mat. Going to slowly come down, squat down to the mat. And then do our bridge poses. Reach your arms forward, send your hips back, squat down, hold it here, breathe. Gentle squat down, hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift your chest up, Venki. Roll your shoulders back, lift your chest up, not your head, but your chest. Squat down a little bit more, your thighs are parallel to the mat, they're probably burning. Hold it here, breathe for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly come all the way down. to Malasana, Yogi squat, elbows land inside your knees. Knees press the elbows in, elbows press the knees out. Like there's a spring action going on here. Lift your chest up. So you're not rounding like this, but keeping it lifted. If it is too much for you, come into happy baby like Lisa, or plant a block underneath your hips. It doesn't matter. Breathe. And slowly send your hips down, extend your legs forward. Let's do some hamstring stretches and then we'll come down to the mat. Extend your right leg out, take your strap for the hamstring stretch. We didn't get to our crescent lunge and Anjaneyasana today, that's okay. So the left sole of the left foot is inside your right thigh. Right leg is really extended, strong and straight. Your right toes are pointing straight up to the sky. Your right knee is pointing straight up to the sky. You're pressing down with the back of the right leg, looping the strap on the arch of the foot. I'm going to again walk you through the pose with in and out breaths. So every time on the inhale, you're going to focus on extending your spine. Inhale, extend your spine up. Breathe in, really tall spine. Exhale, hinge at your hips, fold it down towards your leg. One more time. Inhale, extend the spine, reach forward, little bit more. Exhale, hold it down just a little bit more. And hold it here. Maybe this is where you stay. Stay here and breathe into the hamstring. Listen, you're going to keep a hold of your strap. Or maybe you're grabbing your foot or your ankle, whatever it is. Inhale, lift your chest up one more time. Elongate your spine. Exhale here. And then let go. Let's do the other side, extending the left leg out. Bring the sole of the right foot into your left thigh. Again, using the strap if you want on the arch of the foot, or grabbing a hold of your foot if you can reach it. One more time, with our inhales and exhales, we are going to slowly lower down with a straight spine. Inhale, elongate your spine. It helps sometimes to sit on a block or a blanket, so always choose that option if you need to. Exhale, fold it down. One more time, inhale, elongate your spine. Exhale, release, fold it down. Breathe into the back of the leg. Your hamstrings right behind your knee, right, maybe right above your knee is where you feel it. Wherever you feel this, breathe into it and try to find some ease in it. Breathe some relaxation into that tight spot. The first thing is to be aware of where you're tight. And then the second thing is to tell yourself to relax a little bit so that you can stretch that out. Listen, keep a hold of your strap or your foot, wherever it is. Inhale, lift up, look up, elongate your spine one more time. Exhale here, and then release. Bring your feet as wide as your mat. I'm going to turn and face you guys. You can stay where you are. You're going to take your feet as wide as your mat. Your fingertips are going to go behind you. You're going to drop your knees from side to side. Don't lean back too much. The fingertips are there just to support you. They're not there to lean on. Notice your hips here and this. Dig your heel in. Now stay to the right, dropping both knees to the right. We're going to pick up just the left knee and take it up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. and hold it here. Allow both knees to drop and maybe lean back a little bit more. This is called deer pose. You feel a good stretch in your hip flexor here. Leaning back on both elbows if you can, or just lean back with your palms on the mat. It doesn't matter. Feel a good stretch in your left hip flexor if both knees are to the right. You can just stay up on your palms. If you can come down to both elbows. It doesn't matter. And slowly pick it up. Drop both knees over to the left. Again, now we're going to pick up that right knee, take it up, down, open, close, open, close, open. Let me turn in this way so you guys can see. Open, close, open, close, and then stay here. Hands behind you, lean back. You should feel a good stretch in your right hip flexor. You can stay there. If you have the space, then you can move all the way back. Lean all the way back onto both elbows. You don't have to. You do you. Everybody's body is different. Everybody's bone structure is different. And, a lot of these yoga poses were created for like really slender 16-year-old teenage boys. And we are not built that way. Slowly come up. Both feet on the mat. Grab behind your thighs. Lean back. And slowly rounding your back. Come all the way down to the mat. Bring your knees in with you. Hug your knees. Give your knees a tight squeeze. And rock from side to side, massaging your low back. Maybe make little circles with your tail, taking your knees in a circle. Reverse the direction of the circle. And then drop both feet down. If you have your block, grab it. You don't need a block, only if you have it. Take that block. It'll help you engage your glutes a little bit more. Take that block, place it between your thighs. Squeeze that block in. Graze the backs of your heels with your longest finger so that your feet are fairly close to your bum. We're going to again move with our breath, okay? Keep squeezing that block in if you have it. If you don't have the block, just make sure that you're not playing your knees apart as you come up. On your next inhale, press your feet down, lift your hips straight up. Exhale, lower it down, vertebrae to vertebrae. Tailbone comes down last. Inhale, puff your heart up, lift your hips up towards the ceiling. Exhale, lower it down slowly, one vertebrae at a time, squeezing the block in, squeezing your glutes. Inhale, this time you'll stay up. You lift your hips up and stay there, keeping your hips high. Imagine that straight line from your knees to your hips to your shoulders. Keep squeezing that block. Keep engaging those glutes. Keep breathing. Wherever you are, take one last deep inhale. And exhale, lower it down. Vertebrae by vertebrae. Your tailbone comes down last. Take that block away. Take your feet as wide as your mat or even wider. And again, drop your knees from side to side. We just did this in a seated position. Windshield wiper in your legs from side to side. Just to release your low back for a bit. Round 2, bridge pose, this time engaging your hamstrings. So take your feet away from your glutes, away from your bum. Again, to make it harder, you can take that block, squeeze it in between your thighs. So this time, your hips, you cannot graze the backs of your heels with your fingers. Your feet are a little bit away so that you're engaging your hamstrings more. On your next inhale, press your feet down and lift your hips straight up. Again, that straight line Exhale, lower down. One vertebrae at a time. Your tailbone comes down last. Inhale, press your feet down, lift your hips up, squeeze your hamstrings. Notice your hamstrings engage a little bit more here. Exhale, lower it down. One vertebrae at a time. Tailbone comes down last. Last time, this time you'll stay up. Inhale, press your feet down, lift your hips up, stay here. Imagine that straight line from the knees to your hips to your shoulders. Keep squeezing that block in if you have it. Notice the engagement in your hamstrings. Breathe into it. In a bridge pose, you're opening the front of your body, like stretching out your hip flexors, right? And you're compressing the back of your body. Whenever you compress something, you're building strength. So this pose builds strength in your hamstrings and your glutes. Take one last deep inhale here. Exhale, lower it down. Vertebrae by vertebrae. Tailbone comes down last. Take that block out if you have it. Take your feet as wide as your mat. Drop your knees from side to side, windshield wipering your legs. And then bring your feet back in. One last round, one last strengthening exercise. This time we'll do single leg bridge lifts, okay? Single legged lifts. So again, you're going to keep your feet close to your glutes, which means you can graze the backs of your heels with your longest finger. I want you guys to just do a regular bridge if you want. If you don't want to do the single legged bridge, just do regular bridge. On your next inhale, press your feet down and lift your hips up. Listen, stay here. Or if you want, you can bring your right knee in and extend the right leg out so that the right thigh is parallel to your left thigh. Hold it here. Keep pressing down your left foot, engaging the left glute. That's how you stay up. Breathe. Squeeze that left glute. One more deep inhale here. Exhale, drop that right foot and lower down. Slowly, one vertebrae at a time. Last round, we'll do the opposite side. Pressing the feet down again, lift your hips up. And stay here. If you didn't do the right side, don't do this side. If you did the right side, press your right foot down and bring your left knee into your chest and extend the left leg out. Keep pressing your right foot down so that you can keep your hips lifted. Notice the engagement in your right glute. Breathe. So I believe in both strengthening and stretching. They go hand in hand. You cannot have too much flexibility without strength, or too much strength without flexibility. Take one last deep inhale here, and then drop your left foot, lower down, one vertebrae at a time. And take happy baby pose. Bring your knees in, separate your knees as wide as your armpits. Take the back of your thighs and extend the soles of your feet to the ceiling. Stay here or reach through the inside of your knees to grab a hold of the pinky side of your foot. Happy baby pose, Ananda Balasana. Notice what you're doing here. You're doing the opposite of bridge, which means you're stretching out the glutes and hamstrings now. Maybe like a happy baby, you rock from side to side. Maybe like a joyful baby, you extend one leg out, you extend the other leg out. Do what feels good here. And then drop both feet down. Bring your feet hip distance apart. Drop both knees to the left. Then turn your gaze to the right, supine twist. A really gentle variation of a supine twist here. Slowly come back up, drop both knees to the opposite side, and turn your gaze away from your knees. Feel free to take a really long shavasana. So we're going to come into shavasana in a bit. So slowly come up. If you want to take a really long shavasana, feel free to drop now. If not, since we don't have much time, I'll set us up for a 2-minute shavasana. So bring both knees into your chest. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, crunch into a ball. Bring your nose to your knees, knees to a nose. Become a really tight, tight ball. Take another deep inhale here in this tight ball. Exhale, release, Shavasana. Take your legs wide. Allow your ankles to drop open. Take your arms wide, palms face up. Relax your shoulders down. Draw your chin in slightly towards your chest, resting the back of your head on the mat. If you're feeling cold or uncomfortable, feel free to cover yourself up. Make yourself really comfortable in Shavasana. Surrender everything to gravity so that you're not doing anything here, but simply floating on a pillow of clouds and observing how you feel. Close your eyes, soften your face, soften your body, and return to your natural breath. No more conscious inhales and exhales, just your natural breath. Take a deep inhale through your nose. Open your mouth side out. Start wiggling your fingers and your toes, bringing sensation back to your body. And when you feel ready, and slowly roll over to your favorite side. Use your top arm and press yourself up to a seat.